recording now.
Okay, I will mute my microphone now to
Okay, no
not
problem.
distract you.
Yeah. I have one question if one of you can answer. You don't see my screen yet, right? I need to do here
The
screen.
webcam,
Uh,
but not the screen.
I think you will do now. Now you can see, right? You can see
Mm,
a sprite or not?
watch stream? Yeah, it's working.
Okay. So okay, it's like I still like not very um confident about how to use Discord for streaming.
Yeah,
So like I always have questions. I don't know if it is working or not. Okay, so yeah, no worries, man. Do your thing.
yeah, nice.
I will be here if you get some time later. See ya.
Yeah, I will watch right
Okay,
now for a few minutes,
okay,
but
okay.
yeah,
And Misha, I don't know if I pronounce your name good, Misha or Misha Kok.
You
Uh,
can just call me Nietzsche. It's fine.
okay, okay.
Hello.
Hello, cool to hear you for first time. I know you are a member of the community for a long time, but I never
Uh,
listened you before. So welcome.
thank you.
So do you have some special interest or question to address now? You just want to see me working a little bit? Uh, I don't know, anything about the collection of pixel art you would like to know, or if I can help to give you some tip or something?
I don't think I have a question right now, but maybe in a bit. I just want to look. It sounded interesting.
Okay. So I was planning to start with because we have a this month we have an extra that is the relict walls to make them damage versions of the walls. So I was thinking of doing that today. So I wanted to show you guys and girls um how I do that, the process. So I come with empty mind. I don't know how I'm going to do this. So I will go to through all the process I normally do. So for something like this, that is a variation of already existing tile set, which is this one, uh, you can see right the sprite set I have here in Sprite.
Hmm.
Okay, I'm not sure if I'm transmitting the screen properly, so okay. So normally I take a look at these things and then decide little by little how I'm going to modify this. So let's put this the grid 8 by 8 and let's take the basic. Oh, someone is here. String quality is nice as well. Okay, yeah, thanks for letting me know. Because Discord just like blocked the streaming for myself, I think just to save resources. So that's why I wasn't sure if the stream was working or not. But thanks for confirming. So I'm gonna take the walls of this. I'm gonna make a copy of this to, so I don't work in the original sprite. See it and move it here. So I need to make because we have the request this month. I'm gonna show here too. I'm gonna read what is the request exactly. So I put this here 1 second so you can see. We have the pack features and then we have the image spaceship walls. So and the description was an extended tileset with image walls for space derelict to give it a more green dark vibe. Okay, so the request is making something more destroyed. I guess this looks too new. The was so they like the person it was Nikki requested to have something more green dark style. So first thing I need to consider here, this is a spaceship, so I cannot just break the walls because if you break, I can break some walls inside the spaceship, but we need to think too that the spaceship is going to space, so all the walls cannot be broken in the same way like a brick wall or a stone wall is broken normally in the collection. So maybe we need to make like some like projectile impacts like bullet holes, maybe some like I don't know, something like laser like holes, big ones. We can make some part like totally destroyed that goes to in another room too. So first thing I do normally is going and check for references. So I go to Google and I write Spectre Relief here. Damage walls I gotta show you and see what it gives me. So this is random. I do these things always for every asset I create. I do this. I go through this project. Yes, through this no project. How you say workflow. So if I need to make a spacey wall, I will check for spaces walls. In this case, it's broken or damaged space walls, which is maybe too niche. I don't know if we're gonna have a lot of references here, but let's see what we get. So we get first like a lot of like this kind of like space hulk or like this table game things, and we get walls because I write the word wall, so we get like just random walls too. I wanna check something more like metal to see how a metal wall get damaged. So maybe we're gonna write that instead of space the Reddit. We're gonna put like metal wall damage. So here we have a good starting point to see what kind of damage we can do for the tile sets. For the reference, I usually look to pictures or videos of the thing I want to learn about or do the research. And then I look as well for like illustrations of that kind of thing to see how other artists have solved the problem of presenting a specific thing. So now I'm looking, this is pictures or what looks like pictures or realistic images of metal walls damage. But I'm gonna check as well uh, for the illustration. Illustration because this is good to see as well how people illustrate things because like pixel art at the very end is an illustration in very low resolution. So it is good to see how other like illustrators have addressed these kind of things because sometimes give you clues or good ideas to use when you are like making a very low resolution uh, illustration of the same thing. What do we have here? We have these bullet holes, which is good as a reference. Even this is like high resolution art, but you can pay attention to how the shadows work in the hole uh, and other little details that can be useful later on for making when you translate this kind of stuff to the pixel art version. This is still pictures. Look, pictures. This one here, which as well is good. Is like I don't know how you say this word in English. Like when you make, I don't know the word, but you understand. What's up? Who is here? Who arrives? Where I can see the list of the people here. Uh, I wanted to
Hey,
say hi,
how you
but I
doing?
don't see the name.
It's
What? The volume is too low. I cannot hear you. But welcome. Invio, do you think it would be possible to make bullet holes visible? Oh yeah, it could. I'm gonna demonstrate right now. Like we have here the copy of our tile set. If I take one of the walls, this one, which is pretty clean, let's work in another layer, new layer. Let's name it bullet holes, so we can make some test here. Like the first thing, like gonna do like easy one, like the most simple one. You take that black pixel, make one, and then we shadow it. So if the light is coming from this direction, which is the Minifantasy light is coming kind of like here, well, more like kind of from here actually, the light. I use this light direction, so I need to put the lights and shadows. So the light will be like kind of like from here, and the shadows kind of from here. So there you have a small hole. This is the simplest, easiest way to do it. So we can just like replicate, and then you have like some holes in the wall. So that was the easiest. That is the easiest. I was planning already to do something like this. I was speaking too much maybe in this screen of the examples, but I wanted to let you know how I'm going through the process of doing this. For a bullet hole, it's quite simple because not much options to do it to be honest, as such a small resolution. But yeah, this is one way to do it. You can make bigger, you can maybe put some more detail in between things, like I don't know, you maybe can put a middle color here or put bigger ones, but not much you can do with a simple bullet hole. But already look, already it give the how you say it, the feel of the wall is damaged. So we can put this here, we make a bigger wall, and then we take the bullet holes, and you can replicate here. You can take maybe only one of these. It will feel already like somehow damaged in a way. We need more. We need to make it more rusty, maybe, and more grimdark. But as an example, already it works. At one of the props or one of the wall variation, it works already. Well, man, it's like again. I don't know how to say your name, bro. You help me, man. You say your name the other day to someone in the streaming, to Nikki. You say you prefer to be called. What was your real name? Because I was working while listening. You guys were speaking, Nikki and you in Julebrew. It's not that. I know, man. It's like I'm sorry. I always get like so confused with all the names because everybody's from different place, and I read everything like it is Spanish, so that doesn't help too. I say, well, okay, good. Yeah, thanks everybody for coming. Okay, going back to the thing, we have ballot holes. What else we can do? Another thing I do normally, I'm gonna show you here is to give me a second. I make a small list of the things I'm making. So that's an important thing too, to keep a list of the thing you want to do because uh, I think everybody, but I can forget easily when I want to make something. I say it would be cool to have I don't know, laser damage walls, and then I get busy working in a different thing, and then I forget, and sometimes I forget like completely. So you see the list here. I think we can make like bullet holes. What else? Like laser damage, damage walls. What else? We can make also like straight broken walls, like literally like tear apart, or maybe like tear by the claws of the aliens. I don't know how to write that. I'm gonna put broken or shredded, broken. I don't know how to write that word. Shredded, like a shredder from the Ninja Turtles. I don't remember how to write that word, guys. Sorry. Let's put here. Is shredder, right? Something like that. Yeah, I think it's this. This is what I do as well. Is using Google Translator a lot when I'm working to check for English words of the things. Yes, Misako telling me yes, read it. Thank you for the help. Gonna put here also walls. So I have a lot of ideas while working, or even at home. Me too, man. I use Trello to give you all these ideas. Yeah. I use this. I'm gonna show you here. I use this program. What is it? I use Milanote, so I have this Milanote thing to work. This is my basically weekly stuff. So I have here all daily tasks I have to do, and then here in routine is word it's in Spanish. These things I do every day same things I have to do, and then here I have morning and afternoon. And there every day I prepare there and I put what I want to do and I create my list here actually. So I can keep them from a day to another day. And I have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And the weekends I try to not work, but it is there because sometimes I have to work. Yeah, I use this every day, and I edit. I don't keep this. Like you can see it is almost empty because I erase, but it works for me to know if something is left from the day before or I want to carry some things to do and to other day of the week. I use this to move here and there. Yeah, so normally I create the list here. Like I make the list here and I do this here, so I can know already if I made it or not. Or I create a new list here. Yeah, I have some lists here abandoned that I abandoned for some reason I don't really need. I even use this for things that are not related to Pixel art to keep track of my daily stuff. Okay, let's go. So for the threaded walls, what do we have here? There is some samples already, like this one. We can make some kind of wall, kind of hole like this type. I don't really like because it looks like a can, like the material looks like a Coca-Cola can that is broken. And this is a spaceship, right? So the walls are thick and they are supposed to be strong enough so doesn't get break so easily. So let's try to do something different there. So we have here the holes already, which it's okay. It's easy one, but simple, but it works well. So let's try to do something like this now, for example. So what I do now, because for the most of the things I create, I don't know how to do them. I mean, there is things I know or I have an idea how to do it, but many things I have to do I never tried before because we are making new assets every month. So it is very easy that there is some of the assets or some of the things or at least one part of the thing I have never tried before, right? So even for me, when I go and start to work, I don't have the answer for the problem. There is an asset suggestion or there is an asset I want to make. I address it like a problem to solve. How we gonna make it look uh, what it is supposed to look like. So, for instance, now to try to make something like this, I have some ideas how I can solve this problem, but until I don't go and try, I don't know if it is going to work or not, right? So first thing, we're gonna make even a more simple wall type, just to be easier to address. So we have like the most simple wall type that is completely clean. Now we're gonna make some lines, like we can see here, like this has like some like claw like damaged walls. So let's make some kind of like lines like this, and let's see what happens. We make this. This is too regular. I already don't like it. It doesn't look like natural. They are too close to each other. The pattern is too perfect that it doesn't going to look, in my opinion, it doesn't going to look like something alive went there and did like rah, like something biological, right? So I already don't like it. We're gonna need to modify this in a way that looks less regular. Let's see what we can do, like making some of them longer than others, changing the points where the thing is like going diagonally can help too. Okay, I already like this a bit more than the previous one. Not perfect, but better, I think. Now we're gonna test big part, like the big portion of the time when I'm making assets, I'm just like testing things. So I just like make some lines. look, like pay attention how it looks. I like it, I don't like it, why I like, why I don't like. Erase, try again. And it's a lot of like uh, how you say that, what that sentence in English, like test and error, testing or trying an error, like trial and error. I think is that what you say? Yeah. So yeah, trial and error. Thank you, man. This is going to be good for me to learn English. So it's like making assets is like a lot of trial and error, and I'm telling you guys, like I do sometimes. I work for hours in some asset I discard for the assets packs of Minifantasy. So I can spend half a day like trying something and then decide I like it. And it doesn't make into the pack finally because I don't know, whatever reason. Like I don't like the look or I think it doesn't fit for some reason. So now let's continue with this. Now we're gonna use the same way to the shades and lights with the bullet holes and let's see what happens. I don't know if it is going to work or not. We do this, the light is coming from the right, so we're gonna do this, we're gonna do this, and let's see if it creates the effect. Okay, could be like not bad, but it's still not perfect. I don't know how you feel about this. In context, maybe feels better. That's another important thing. It's important to. I was like drawing directly in the wall layer. With context, might like give a better feel of how it looks or not. Now we can use some of the bullet holes too here, just for could be. Try and error. That looks great, to be honest. Okay, thank you. I'm glad you like it. Yeah, it's not bad. Like we can add more, like different type of like the same idea. Even we can try things. I honestly would like to try to do as well, like with the lighting in the opposite way, because now we the lighting we are using for the hole, it is like if we have a surface here and the hole goes there, this part, the upper parts go in and every part goes in, right? So the light is coming from here and all these sides will be light and all these sides will be dark. Is what we are doing now. But if you break something like this, will be the opposite, right? Instead going inside, you are like making things go outside. So the light will reflect in a different way. So I want to try if we can reproduce that. Friu, let me read question. How do you determine the color values for the highlights and shadows for each pack? I'm gonna explain that now if you want. Give me a second. You have a set amount you shift color to get the shadows, or this different per pack? It is different per pack. The way I do the color palettes, I make basically a color palette for every new asset I create. Almost. That is not completely true because if I'm going to create something that is made of wood, for instance, I might go and use as reference wood that I have already in Minifantasy collection. But if I need to create something new from scratch, or I want to create a different type of wood, that a new one, so it doesn't look exactly the same to what we have already, I will create the palette while I'm making the assets. So I'm gonna explain you if you want how I do that. It's important. I was talking about this the other day in the last streaming last month, but I'm gonna tell again because I think this is important and I think this is very useful for you guys when you try to make your own assets. Okay, and it's not overcomplicated, but you need to understand. So, for instance, for the wall, we have this main color, this one, right? Just in the middle. That will be great and that extend the fantasy asset. Okay, yeah. Want to make sure. Okay, yeah. I will tell you. Did you hear about something called hue shifting? I gonna write so you know hue shifting. Okay, that's the basic and most important thing to understand when you want to create color palettes of any kind. Okay, okay. You don't know too. I will explain you. That's That's very important. So hue shifting. I'm gonna go here from, and you think hue shifting. Let's imagine we have a green tone. Imagine you want to make an object or an scenario that has a green. The main color is green. Okay, stuff no. So what you want to do here, and what you want to do is to create lighter green tones and darker green tones. Okay, let me put a background because we're gonna be able to see it better. Let's put a neutral background. Okay, and let's put this up. We have this color. What people will usually do is this. People will think, okay, I have this green, I want a darker green, and they will here in this part of the here you see right the chromatic wheel or whatever you call this part, the thing you pick the colors, this part. People will usually go down because they say, okay, I want a darker green, so they just go down and get indeed a darker green, and then they will say, I want a lighter green, and go up and do this. And yes, this is green, lighter and darker, but this palette is so poor in terms of depth because you are just moving in one axis of the color. Okay, so what you have to do, and this is critical to understand, it's not difficult, but it's very important. It's like when colors, I mean the light in the real world, okay? The light in the real world make colors towards blue. Sorry, the shadows in the sorry, it is what I say. The shadows in real world make all colors more blue, and the lighten areas when the things are under the sun or under a natural light source make the colors more towards yellow. So what is that? Is because going into the detail is because the sun is yellow basically. So everything under the sunlight gonna go towards yellow in our world. I mean, in the earth, but that is what is natural for us. It is what our brain recognizes as a natural color. Okay, of course, if you have a red bulb in a room, everything gonna be light in red, or if it is blue, it's gonna be light in blue. But those are special cases. Let's speak about what our brains uh, take as a normal thing. And then why the shadows are blue is because the blue sky, when there is no light, all the shaded areas take the light from what is it's difficult to explain. What is not like the direct sunlight is actually lightened up by the light in the atmosphere, in the ambient, which is blue in general. Okay, that's why all the colors that are not under the sun goes towards blue, are more blue in color. So how to do that? This explanation is too long to say something so easy. It's like if you want a darker green tone, you want to move this part of the color selector towards blue, actually. So I have this green, okay? It's the same green you can see here. Now I move this one here and I choose blue instead of green. So I move this towards blue, for example, here. And now we want it to be darker, so I'm gonna move it to the darker area. Which is the darker area? Is this corner. And which is the lighter area? Is this corner. So you don't need to move like vertically. You need to move diagonally towards the darker part of the color picker. So something like around here, and put this one here. This tone, I will do darker because I want to do darker like this. This tone is better than the previous one we have because this goes more with how reality works. It's a more interesting tone, gives more depth to the image. If you only move up and down, it goes very, very flat in terms of color. Now, thanks to you guys for listening me. Invio. Finally, I learned the things I saw in YouTube video that over the years. Okay, I'm glad. I'm glad it was useful, Invio. Okay, yeah, I'm glad you guys understand because this is not difficult to understand, but the concept is not difficult, but it's a bit difficult to understand when people explain to you. I know that when you understand how it works, it's not difficult. But it's true, if you don't get the explanation correctly, it might be confusing. Yeah, exactly. Stuff just summarized there in a sentence. Its cold tones are like blue. The colder tone is blue, and the warmer color will be yellow. Yeah, yeah, Dulebru. It's exactly that. But it happens to everybody, yeah? Like, it happens to me when I started to experiment with color. So that, and it requires a little bit of work and trial error to get the right color palette. That's why many people use fixed color palettes because the fixed color palette was made for from someone before and it works. So you get a straight take a color palette, you can use it. But I enjoy making my color palettes. I just enjoy the process of like choosing the colors because it gives you way more control and decision. You can take more interesting decisions about the art you are creating or the assets you are creating. If you just stick to a color palette someone made, it will have that feel that there is great color palettes out there, way better than the ones I create probably. But one, you are like fixed to that. And two, if you don't understand this, I just explained, you cannot even like edit those color palettes correctly to to work for you. Uh, the cold physics based explanation. Thanks, Tal. Okay, let me read guys the message. Don't you use a special algorithm to pick darker and lighter colors or use like you did it? Like I did it in Bio. I don't use anything. I just try and see if I like the results because I don't think there is no mathematic formula that will give you the right color palette because it's more something about feelings many times is how you want to feel the scene, so it is not about if it is right or not right. It will depend on many things and it will depend on all the elements as a whole. So yeah, you probably can use like an algorithm to do a right color palette, but that right color palette in terms that it is correct might not be the best for you. And then sometimes you want to break those rules as just explained for some reason. Maybe you want a, a specific color that goes against what I explained, but it's because you as an artist want to use that color for some reason. Uh, Hellscape for the first time yesterday to grab the new level. And I was amazed by the color palette. Not too many colors, but they work so good. Thanks. I'm glad you like that tile set in Bio. For bigger assets that have multiple depths of shadows, will you repeat the process multiple times, or you will shift towards blue ones? No, no, I will do multiple times. I will demonstrate now. Free. Give me 1 minute. Do you ever use blue color with low alpha to make a darker color? No, I never do that. It's not a good practice to do that. It's a bad idea because uh, because it's not that easy. It's not just like has a blue on the color. It is like uh, I will show you now how I will do. That will work a little bit, but in the long run, it's not a very good idea. Okay, so here I make the darker tone and now I'm going to make a lighter one. So we have the middle green, move towards yellow, and now we're gonna move diagonally towards white. So here we have a lighter color now. So this color palette is better than this one I'm gonna put down. The one that is just down uh, in the downside is worse color palette, has less depth. I don't know if you guys can tell that this one is flatter than this one. It's like 2D. If we can speak of that, it's like 2D color palette because you are just only playing with one dimension of the color that is just like making it uh, putting black or white in the color. In this one, you are like moving in a whole new dimension that is like shifting the color itself, moving to a different color. Yeah, yeah, totally different. Yeah, yeah. I think it's noticeable. It's this kind of thing you don't notice, you notice. So you see something that is created with a good color palette, and normal people, average people that is not into color theory, will never say, "Oh, this color palette is awesome." Probably will not say that, but they will like it more than the same illustration with a poor color palette. So it's something we know, but we don't know we know, and it is because it's how reality works. We like things that are closer to reality. Our brain like things that looks like things in real life. So this color palette, in terms of color theory, works like the colors works in real life. And then you can make totally fantasy color palettes, but using the rules of the real world, and our brains will like it more than the ones that are flat. So from here we have three colors. You can keep doing this infinity times. Now we want a more lighter color. You move towards yellow and more up, and here you have another. You want darker one, you move towards blue and down. Another thing, maybe too much. Another thing I want to say is like why we move diagonally is because in the color selector the horizontal line is like saturation. So the right side is more saturated than the left side. Darker colors are more saturated. So that's why we move diagonally. Not only because we go towards the black, it's because we go towards the more saturated colors. Okay. So lighter colors are yellow, white, desaturated. Darker colors are blue, uh, black, and saturated, more saturated colors. That's why we move diagonally. I don't know if that makes sense. If you guys don't understand anything, you can ask me. And now we have this palette. I'm gonna do a very easy exercise so you see the color palette in use. This has been really helpful. Been trying out with okay, it's cool, man. I'm glad. It is helpful. Look, now I'm going to use the color palette. So we have the green, and now we're gonna put the shadows and the lights. We have this shadow. We're gonna put the shadow here. We're gonna use one of the lights here, and now we're gonna keep. And I mean, this is crap. This is not even a good color palette. Like it is just like for testing purposes. I will not use it probably, but it's just like so you can see how it works. So here we have like an sphere or a ball using the color palette we have. But this is not even good, okay? I don't like this blue, for instance. It is too saturated to blue, maybe. But yeah, this is good. This is part of Pixel, and it's just like constantly adapting, trying, like making changes. Nothing is going to work like this. You need to try, and you need to see what you want to do. But this is just an example of what you can do with this. So you have a functional color palette, even if it is not great. And then you can light in different ways too. Like I light this way, but you could like light things in different ways, like more like here. Uh, it's just like testing stuff and seeing what works better, or you can just like make like this dot here and extend this group like the shadowy area more or less. So it just depends on on every. Oh, I remove the more lighter color. I mean, like this is not good. Don't take this as an example, but this just I just wanted to explain you how to create a palette and how to use it. And this basically what I just explained for everything. So let's check the walls. Like for instance, I have this color, this one here, and now the light is slightly. You can see. Pay attention to here when I change from one color to the other. This color, this one. This one is a bit more yellow than this one. That is a bit more red. You see, and this one is closer to the white, and this one goes slightly diagonal down. You see, every color and every palette, you're gonna give different feel. So you can the diagonal move you do to shift the hues can be different too. Like it doesn't need to be a perfect diagonal between the white and the black. You can work in all the space you have here to get the color you want, because sometimes you're gonna want more saturated color palettes, so sometimes you want to have less saturated color palette, more dark in general, or more extremes that goes from very light colors to very dark colors. It depends a lot on what you are creating. How would you do this for a gray value that doesn't have any color? Then the gray value is the easiest because you can only move up and down. So for gray value, you go for a neutral gray and then just like up, getting more white colors until you get the white, and then black, like going towards black until you get this is the easiest, and you can use this to create the palettes. You create the gray palette, and then you create your color palette based on this. So you say, okay, I'm gonna create a red one, so I choose a red, and you change this for this one, and then you move. So you have like the same gray scale for color for any color you want. Yeah. So for the gray palette, it's easier because you can only move in one dimension because you don't have any color, which is the other dimension, which is this one here, black. Here are all the colors. This is the chromatic wheel, just in a line, but it's like a wheel. The red comes to the red again, so it's actually like a circle. You have this is one dimension, and here. So when you pick a color here, actually that color goes in the color selector, but the color selector doesn't have color by itself until you pick one. So the color selector only have like the intensity of the color, if it is saturated or not, and the black and the white, if that makes sense. Oh wow, we went into speaking a lot about color theory. I hope you guys don't get bored by this. But very interesting. I really like color theory, and I make all the color palettes for Minifantasy myself. And I actually been get better making color palettes with time. So honestly, like later asset packs in Minifantasy have better color palettes in my opinion than the early asset packs, because just been 4 years ago, and I have practiced a lot making color palettes during these 4 years. Okay, you are used about Unity tutorials. Great. I hope this is more fun. Cool, cool. Good to know. Good to know. I don't know if I wanted to say something else about this. Or you have any other question about this? Okay, let me know, Gimbio. Yes, so there is no hard plan for today streaming. If you guys want to speak about anything, you have questions or whatever, you can tell me. I don't need to finish the Patreon extra today. I was using it it as an example of how I work on things, but we can totally speak about whatever. How do you save the grid palette in a separate now? I don't do that, man. It's like you can save here. Actually, you can put here, but I never do that. I usually create a layer that is called palette. here, and I work from there. Palette, when I create the layer there, then I take the palette. Where is the palette? And it's like I put everything like in different layers. Sorry. I take this one, put here, take the whole palette and put in the palette. And then if I don't want, be sure I don't make any changes, I just lock the palette so I cannot do anything with the palette, but you cannot move if you lock. Then if I want to move the palette because sometimes I want to put this close to the assets that I'm working with, I just move here. And I have on hand, I can use easily from there. Yeah, that's the way I do. Maybe other people do other things. Here is the option I never use, but here is an option that actually, wait, you can sort and gradient. There is an option here to put edit palette outside. Here? No. There is one here that put all the colors that you have in the spreadsheet goes there to the color selector. Save palette. New palette from you can save the palettes here if you want to save have them saved in a separate. You put new palette from the sprite and you say okay, and it actually put all the colors that are in the sprite are here now in the side. But I never do that. I prefer to work to have the palette in a layer and work from there. And then when I want to recover a palette, I actually go into the assets. If I want, I said before, if I want like a stone material, I want to make something of a stone. I go into packs that have a stone, and then I look for one of the palettes in those packs that I like or I want to reuse, and I use from there. So I open the sprite and I just extract the palette from the sprite itself. So I use the collection as a library too, because it is decently organized by themes. So it's easy for me to go to a, I don't know, like the Cthulhu one, the crypt we recently did. If I want like a dark stone, that's a great one. I can just go and use that as a reference, and it's already like like organized in a way. So I use it as my library for stuff too. Okay. So another question about the palettes. Okay, then we move on. So what I was saying before is if I want to do this as if it was like a break metal stuff, maybe I don't know how it is going to look, but we can try. We can reverse how the light uh, affect this. So I put the light in this part and the shadow in the opposite, and let's see how it looks. Maybe we don't like, so if we don't like, we just like try different things. So, but you can see already this gives a different feeling. Many times, uh, we don't know if you don't have in context, we don't perceive the differences of things. But when you have the context next to it, you can see there is some different thing here. This one looks different to this one. So my idea for the second one, for this one, was like it was broken like this. For the first one was like broken like inside. So that's why the light affected differently. Uh, Again, if you only see this part separate, you might not this one. Not here. If you see, oh man, I just here. No, if you see this here, you might not know what's going on exactly because it's out of context and it's just a bunch of pixels. But when you have it in the wall with all the things together and some bullet holes and things, you can, okay, that might be like damage something. And what else we can do with the wall? You have some idea you like you would like me to try, we can, if not, go to back to reference and try something else. We can like maybe see some parts that are like broken in the way that is like cracks in the wall. I don't know how metal cracks, if cracks at all. So again, references. This is very important. Don't be afraid of looking for references. I don't know why, like beginners, especially beginners, are a bit like scared in a way or afraid of looking for references because they feel that they are stealing from others, and that's not the case at all. When you look for reference, it's because everything has been done already a million times, and just it's stupid to not look for information that is already out there. So you see for a reference and then you do your way. It doesn't, you are not stealing anything. All artists do that. All of them, even the best artists. I will say like best artists check for a lot of references. So it's kind of the opposite. So let's see how it's like illustration or uh, cracked metal walls. And let's see how, if there is references about that. Which, yeah, we have some cracks, so maybe we can use this can be interesting too. We have different type of cracks in walls. Not many of them are not metal, but look, another that can be interesting is like it is crack and there is more layers of metal under the first one. Here you can get a lot of good ideas to try to do in your sprite. So I like it this, for example. I like it this kind of like there is more layers of armor or metal under the walls. So we can try to do that. We come here, let's put the grid. Let's take one section of the wall and let's make it so simple, just flat. And now let's imagine, okay, if this wall have under it another layer, is composed by different layers, how that will looks like. So first thing we can create like a darker part under. So let's imagine the lighter part uh, is the layer that is more close to the viewer. The darker part is the other layers. And now we're gonna take some more dark from the palette we already have here, and we're gonna put some more here. So to give the sensation that it's like that. But it is so straight lines, and broken things never looks like this. Broken things looks chaotic, right? So we want to make it more like, and here is just like testing, like randomly putting things here and there to see the feel it gives to us. Doesn't need to be, you don't need to think, especially when you are making like damage things, you can just go wild, actually. You don't need to pay much attention initially. Later when you are like cleaning details and that, yes. But now, for now, we can just go wild. So you can do that and look at this, and we can value. This is weird. I don't think it looks like a crack. It looks almost like decoration to me. So it needs changes, need to have something different, in my opinion. Like this, let's try to make it a bit more cracky, like that. And now, when you have a crack something, it usually has some these uh, smaller crack types of things like this that maybe can help. And I'm not really sure about if I like it or not, but we can use all the sections and put next to it to see if we like it. Too perfect. Maybe we want to have it like more dark because these ones are very dark. Or the opposite. Maybe we want to have this not that much dark because they are black now, right? So maybe we can try to have it like this instead of the flat black, which is too strong and the contrast is too high. We might want maybe to have less contrast, like in this case. And we have darker tones here too that we can use for some of the areas. So you can put these ones here, and maybe here like this, to get a bit more depth in some of the parts. Like go in like this. You see, this is one of those examples I'm not happy with. This is one of those things I would probably discard. I don't like this one at all. I don't think it feels like crack. Uh, yeah, a little bit, but it's not something I will be happy with. So this is one of the things I completely will discard. So what I spent like 5 minutes doing this, and these 5 minutes I will not use. But it's 5 minutes that help me to decide where I want to go, and as well give me this idea. I did this because of that, and maybe I prefer this one than this one, or I can have both. I can keep both. So you don't waste time by trying things. You keep learning, and you might feel, oh, I just waste 1 hour of my work. You didn't waste because that hours was useful to decide you don't like something. So you will not go that direction more times during the creation process. So in the long run, that hour you just like spend save you more hours in the future. Both the center of the crack be darker. Yeah, it depends. I was trying to do you're right, Nikki, but I was trying to do something like this now, like this kind of like layers of like there is some crack, or like this one here. There is some crack, and under the crack there is another layer of metal. We were trying to do that now, but yeah, if you're gonna do a hole, you want to be the hole be like darker as it goes in, like this one, the threaded thing. We make this one which didn't go completely through or something like that, and this one kind of like just went deep, like deep, very deep into the wall. So what if you did that, but also took wires? Oh yeah, that would be a good idea. You mean the for the one I just erased? Wait 1 second, I'm going back for this one. You mean to put wires in that one? Yeah, we can try to do that. Sure, we have here some wires. Let's just take the same one we use for the tile set, and then we can take maybe some of these ones that are already separate, and let's put them in another different layer. And now we will need to think from where they will be coming out. Again, we need to think how many tiles this is going to take, because this is already going into another tile. It's not a problem. It can be also a prop that you can overlay on the wall, or it can be like a section that is like bigger than 8 by 8. We can put some here. Now we will adjust. Let's first decide where we want to put the cables. And now we could even animate then like a spark, like make it some sparks or something. And maybe something like this. Let's take the darker green, like they are going somewhere inside the walls. We can make a darker orange here. And let's take another wall section and put next to it. Maybe we're gonna need some shadows under the wires. Yeah, it's not bad. That give a good feeling, but we're gonna need some shadows because now they kind of blend with the wall too much. Let's see what kind of shadows will help here. Uh, this is answering to Dule Brew. You asked, oh, I think it was you, if you can use an alpha color, like an alpha black, to darken areas. I do that for the shadows itself. Oh, I'm gonna read what you guys have said. Sorry. I found really interesting watching the data develop. I'm gonna. Okay, no worries. Yeah, thank you for showing us stuff. I really appreciate it. It would be more opportunities. Have a good Sunday. So you can use a darker alpha here, like a dark. This is almost a black, and it is alpha. Or you can just put a black and alpha. Or you can take a dark blue and make an alpha with the dark blue. You can do that, and it can solve some problems like this. If you're gonna use the cables as props that are going to go overlay on other tile set, that will be impossible to. You can make one tile for every possible situation, but that will be a pain in the ass and gonna consume a lot of time. So in those cases, like now with the cables, for the cables, these ones, I might want to do that to put an alpha on the cables, like an alpha saddle, because those cables gonna go over different types of tiles, and it's a small detail. It's not something that is going to be too predominant that is going to uh, make the tile set make it too obvious in the tile set that it was not like a color pick using good practices. So you can put some shadows, didn't work very good here, maybe more dark. You can use, not bad, like this is already looking better. You, for sure we can make it better, but I will make some changes for sure to this one if I end using it. We could even animate, like putting some sparks, like some blue, like this. We could here animate. I'm not animating now, but like here, imagine this like moving, and even the cable like kind of cracking up and down. Those pixels like jumping up and jumping down, or appearing and disappearing, and that could be a crack wall. Like yeah, could work. Like I like the idea of the cables, Nikki. There is work to be done here. Like I will not leave it like this exactly, but yeah, it's a good starting point to work in such like wall variations. If we want to hue shift yellow towards light, we go closer to red, right? No, you go no. If you wanna make the yellow, let's do the example here. You have a yellow. The yellow is the most difficult part for me. Actually, it's the most complex part because the yellow finish around here, right? This is the most yellow you can have. And already they are usually pretty saturated when you are using them. So you cannot go more yellow than yellow because the other one is going to red, which is already going to darker tone. Because if you continue red, you are going towards blue. So you darken the reds or the yellows, you darken them going towards blue, but going towards purple here. I mean, I'm not darkening this, but this, so you see the color process. So you go to yellow to here, and then you darken them. So from this one, you will go to this one and put some dark, to this one and put some dark, to this one and put some more dark, and so on, like this one and put more dark, this one and put more dark. You will go to this. So when you want to be more yellow, lighting the yellow is a white. Is the closer to the white colors. I don't know if that answers the question. Because I'm gonna demonstrate. If you put a yellow and then you want to lighten this yellow, which is like it's a dirty yellow, but it's a yellow tone. This yellow, if you want to make lighter and you go towards red, it's kind of weird. You can use, and this is not a wrong color palette, depending on for what you want to use and what type of object you are lighting up. But that is not the natural way to light things up. This will be more like going towards the most possible white. I'm going to light this up, going upwards now, so you can see both of them. A little bit more towards white, towards yellow and white, and here you are already in the most yellow possible because then you will move into greens. So you only can keep going to white. Let me know if that answered your question. If I didn't understand you properly, let me know, and I will rephrase or trying to answer in a better way. Nikki say I like them ripped. Might also put them just going across represent the wall broken. Yes, that's coming from yeah, the sparking broken cables will be nice. Yeah, I mean like the tileset have cables already that you can use over walls if you want. There is even some walls with cables here, which could be used too. We can just edit. We could edit these walls into making them broken walls. Like you take this and now we take another wall, like for instance this one, copy, and then let's put this one here. We put this here, this here, this here, and now we break this wall. We can break this wall like, by erasing parts of it. Like we erase this, and now we will edit, but we broke some parts here of the wall, and then you have like a hole with cables. We can still like edit that, like we can try to put an outline too if we want. Again, this will be testing. It's like big part of the asset creation process is testing, not in the lower part. I will put only in the upper part. It's testing, testing, testing until you get something that you say, oh, okay, I like that. I'm gonna keep working there, but big part of the time is just like I'm going to try to do this. I'm going to try to do that. Yeah, I don't like the outline much how I put this, but could work something like that, like to make like not exactly like this. I don't think I really like the outline or in that way, but you can have like an idea of there is something under the wall and there is cables and stuff. Okay, I can see that. So the same will be applied for trying to make a blue darker, go more black. Yes, yes, that will be the same. You can, in some cases, go to purple a bit because we relate purples, our brain, I mean, when we say we, I mean humanity, usually relate purple to night and dark, so it can work even to go a little bit more to purple, but yeah, it's the same principle. You go towards blue in general, and when you cannot go more towards blue, which will be around here, this one, let's put this one here. This one is blue and dark, and then you almost only can move a little bit and just go pure black almost. Yeah, and there is some like advanced or weird situations in which you don't know which direction to take. I will explain that. Imagine you have mm, a yellow. A yellow is a good one. We have some kind of like this dirty yellow, this kind of like I don't this color in English you call this khaki. We say khaki in Spanish. I don't know if you in English say the same. So we have this color, okay? Yeah, khaki is okay, okay, khaki. So we have this khaki. What happened with this color? Technically, you could go. Imagine you want to darken this now. You want to darken this color. You can go two directions. You can go if you are here in the most yellow area, which is almost green now, as you can see there, this you can take both directions. You can go towards greens, or you could actually go towards reds to till the blue because you have the same distance to the other part of the color wheel. So there you need to ask yourself which which color direction fits better your palette because they are very different. You can take the directions of going towards green, which will be darken it towards green, which will be like this. Like something like this. This is like a sloping and not very great, but it's just to demonstrate, or you can do exactly the same going to the other direction. So you are starting in the same color and you can end up about the same area in the other side, but that gives a totally different feel to the palette, right? Like, I'm gonna make some more space. The starting color was this one, so I just like mark here. So this is the starting color. So we're still missing some more. So you can keep going here. Here. I mean, we didn't end in the same color, but theoretically you can end both of them in black here now. So you end in the same black color, starting from the same color here. One in this direction, one in this direction. Both of them are darkening the color, but they are darkening in different totally directions. So in some cases you might be confused about which chromatic direction you should take because you are in middle points that you actually can do both. So these kind of situations you will encounter while you are like creating the color palettes, and just try. When you are in one of those situations, you don't know which direction go. Just try because I don't know. I don't know for what kind of thing we will use it, but it resembles me something more sick or something more like a swamp or something like that. And this is more something like autumn or like a down forest, something like that. Could be a thousand different things, but just giving an idea. So it depends on what you are making. You are making some place that is evil or something like that, I will go to this direction probably, because give me more that vibes. You are making something that is like, I don't know, like autumn or some kind of like harvest season type of thing, I will go probably more towards this direction. Just examples. Okay, going back to the wall. Another thing we can use, I'm keeping this as ideas. I will finish the assets later, but I'm just using this as brainstorming and to show you how I get the ideas. I would like to do one that is just like hit part of the wall that is like bent in, like a big part of the wall bent in. Let's try to get that. For neon asset, will you go towards pure white? What do you mean for neon assets? You mean the a color that is very like saturated and bright, or you mean like actual neons, like this kind of stuff? More like actual neon light. Okay, for neon light, I will do this me myself. The center of the neon light. Let's imagine a neon like this is a neon stick. Okay, will be white in all of them. I I, I personally will go to use a white one because the source of the light is always the brighter. When you see it, when you take a picture with a camera and it like burn the image and you see them light, you see them white almost. Doesn't need to be 100% white. If we want to make like a, I don't know, let's see like a purple neon, it can be almost white but purple. Like this one, you see the difference. That it is a bit has a bit color, so you can go almost white with a little bit of the color, even more maybe. And then from there, I will use darker tones of that, like this, and I will use an alpha also of that, like for the glow. Again, I will make test here. I will not. This is like a sloppy, fast test, but I will go something like that. Maybe even pure white in the middle, like something like that, like this. Just testing here. For non-acid gotcha. You will need to try, and it depends on what are you using. Maybe it will light up something down. If it is the ground here, let's imagine there is like this is in a wall, and this is the ground line. So here this is ground, This part is the ground. Maybe this will light some kind of reflection here. You will need to think about this thing depending on what are you making to. For what is the neon light? You can maybe put like some kind of like thing coming from here. Again, this is like a sloppy, not very uh, developed part, but you can do something like that. For the neon, I will go white in the middle, actually pure white. And then using some of the color you want the neon to be about, lighten like this, but already with the color, and then an alpha of the color you really want. So if you want a purple, I will go an alpha purple that is like glowing, the color you like. Yeah, I remember, Nikki, you did the neon, and I think we have similar conversation to this, right? In that time. Yeah, I think it was like, I don't know, like maybe like 2 years ago or something like that. But yeah, I remember talking to you about this idea about the arcade. It's even maybe in Discord. It should be in the conversation somewhere if we go back 1,000 years, 1,000 days back. So going back to the wood, man, this is a mess already. Okay, have a good lunch, man. Oh yeah, man, I have a bike. It's nice one. I live here in the mountains, so it's a mountain bike to go out. And today is very good weather too, so not a bad day for a ride. It's crazy. Like this winter doesn't look winter at all. Yeah, thanks for showing up, man, and thanks a lot for taking part in the streaming. See you. Okay, so going back to this, we got the wall. Let's make one more here. What I wanted to make, I was saying before, is like I would like to make something that is punch in. So for doing that, we're gonna need to darken. I'm gonna do like a squarey at the beginning, and then we will change. This is the part that the light comes from, and because it is bent inside, it is in shadows there. Then this part will be lightened up. Okay, and now this is too square and too perfect that it's not realistic. So we need to make it like more chaotic and uh, like fucked up in different ways that looks like a real impact of something. And again here it will be testing to see how to get a thing that looks like more close to reality, how as something like is an impact on our world will look like. What is the tool? This is a sprite. You mean the software? Ah, I mean, I use. You mean the my PC? What is my PC? Or what I'm using? I'm using this to draw. I'm using just a mouse. This thing here is like a keyboard. Like you can configure here. Like you can put any macros or anything you want in the different keys. Ah, no, no, no. I wasn't. I wasn't. I have actually I have a board too for drawing, but I use sometimes, but not many times. I use that when I make more high resolution art, pixel art, but higher resolution than Minifantasy. I sometimes use it, but I didn't use for a long time because I do almost very low resolution art, even for commissions and things like that. It's normally like 16 by 16, 8 by 8. I rarely do something that is a higher resolution than that. But sometimes I have done like some portraits, like pixel art portraits, that those are higher resolution pixel art. For those ones, I use the tablet sometimes to get the shapes better than the mouse. But for low resolution, like 16 by 16 or Minifantasy resolution, I'm feel more comfortable using the mouse actually, because I don't know, it's more precise. You don't really need to draw lines or like drawing at all. It's like more placing pixels, I like it to call. When you are making like low resolution art, it's more about placing pixels, and that's the mouse is even better than the tablet for me. But again, it's everybody get used to different ways of working, so I understand maybe for some people like the tablet works better than the mouse even for super low resolution. And that's it. I don't have any fancy thing. A keyboard. That's it. I use this sometimes. I put sometimes some things here like copy paste and these things like in macros just to press like a button. I have some buttons in the mouse as well, like configure to do things like making animations I have in the mouse, because many times I make the animation and then go back to see if it works, to build the animation with the friends, I mean. So I have that in shortcuts to just like do faster. But apart from that, not many fancy stuff. Yeah, macros are good, man. Like, and a sprite is good because you can get even like I don't know, maybe scripts. Yeah, I have one script I use all the time that export all the layers as a separate PNG, and that is super useful because many times I have like the shadow layer, the attack layer, the character layer, or like some like um, hairstyles or some clothes, and you can like export separate. That's super useful. So I have that script and I use every week for something very useful one. I recommend you guys to get it. The Esprit export layers script. You need to download from the website, I think. It's like some user made it. I love it. It helps you and save a lot of time, especially if you need to export thousand different layers for some reason. So when are you going to Twitch and become a pro pixel artist? I don't know, man. It's like if these things. Look, I have I move this in the main screen. I have the compromise with you guys to do one streaming per month at least for now. I'm worried with the streaming for one reason. I like it because I can talk alone for that for like 5 hours. But so I have no problems talking and these things I like and I like to share, and I think it's fun to talk to you guys, and it helped me too. Like you guys have good ideas and it can be very positive, but I'm less productive for obvious reasons because I speaking, then I get like more dispersed, and I'm a bit worried if I do more streaming, like I cannot produce as many things as I usually do because when I'm working, I'm kind of like sucked into the work, and I can spend like 3 hours not moving from the chair trying things, and yeah, I was worried about that. This said, uh, if these streamings get like a thing and people like it, because as well I didn't know if people were gonna like it to listen to me say like no sense like that. If people show up and it's like I don't know 4 or 5 people showing up, with one is enough for me. You know, if one person is interested, I'm happy doing this. It's a nice way to spend the morning for me. I enjoy it. But I might consider to do in Twitch because here in Discord it's a bit limited. In Twitch will be more easy to do certain things, and but I need to do all the setting because I don't have with the setting I mean the OBS and all the software part to make it like run smoothly. And yeah, it's something I'm okay doing. It's like not for doing Twitch to making money because this is a community thing. It's for the community, so I don't really care much about that part of the history. But yeah, if you guys like it and it's useful for you, plus maybe some more people know the collection through that, yeah, that's a good idea. So I'm not against trying to do it that way. free Sprite has been helpful for me. Yeah, yeah. Sprite is the best. Free is the best software for pixel art right now out there. At least as I know. I know some. I have tried different ones. Nothing close. It's nothing close to Sprite. It works very good, and it has all the tools you need for doing pixel art without any like flashy things that you don't really need to use for anything. Nikki said, if you need help getting set up, I can help you with that. Yeah, that will be good because I did actually tweets years ago before starting Minifantasy and all the thing. I was doing Twitch live streams for a while, so I have done that before, but I totally forget the whole thing. You ask me now how to do it, and I don't remember nothing about how to set up the whole thing. So yeah, I will require your help, please. You have been talking perfectly and working on the details is great. Thanks. I'm glad you like. The income. Yeah, I mean, like the income, you say, like, I imagine at the same time people subscribing as well, double income for the same asset. Um, yeah, I don't know. I don't know that. Yeah, and it's not my main focus. Like, speaking about business, like my business model with Mini Fantasy is very defined now. It is working for me, and I need to be productive in making the assets too because it's how I build it up as well. It's like I think I offer good value for you guys. It's what I say, but I really think so. And how it works is very polished now, so I'm worried about if I do the streaming, like let's say one per week. I think that is too much already because it's like 4 days of the month. I cannot like actually invest on making things. So we will see. We will see how it goes. Because what I think I can't and I don't like if it's like I put tweets and I just work, no speaking, just work like silence, like no paying attention to the chat and just like drawing. I can do that and ignore everything, but I think the whole point of like having a live streaming is interaction with people because it's like that's the whole thing for me while I streaming because it's fun and it's interesting and you can give me some good ideas or whatever or like asking questions like we were doing before today. uh, I think that's the key part of a streaming. So it's not much point for me to just like switch it on and be silent and like not paying attention. But we will see. Like we will cross that bridge when we arrive that river. We say that in Spanish. It's a Spanish saying. So we didn't arrive that river yet. So we will see. Uh, you addressed it before reading it. Look, oh, yeah. Story is fun. I find helps me be more on the target when I actually deep into the code. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I mean, like as I say, like I think it can be that too. Like especially when doing a new asset pack, could be a nice way to get ideas or like brainstorming. Sure, I'm pretty sure about that. That will be a good use for that, as well as making you guys feel more part of the asset pack. I think that can be fun for people too. Like once it's something set, this month we're gonna work in a I don't know in a hotel tile set, and then do a live streaming where we actually do a live session of brainstorming and trying to sketch some assets. That can be great, and I think it might make feel people more part of it too. Uh, Free say English version of that is we will cross that bridge when we get there. Yeah, exactly. It's like the interesting, yeah, the Spanish way I like because it implies that maybe there is no bridge or there is no river. So I like the same because it says when we are right that river that maybe it's not even there, saying the problem, maybe it's a problem that you think there is a problem, but there is no a problem because there is no actually a river in the way. We will cross that bridge. that is implying that maybe there is a bridge or maybe no, so you need to build it. But it means you need to find the solution for the problem, or maybe someone else solved the problem before and there is a bridge already there. Yeah. Too long speaking of this Spanish saying, but I really like it. Dice in Spanish and rivers. Me think about Hannibal heading for the Alps and beating the Roman. Yeah, man. Yeah, okay. Too much time speaking about rivers and bridges. Yeah. But you guys tell me if I'm making this boring, please. Yeah, or if it's fun too, tell me because then I know. But I tend to get lost in the stupid conversations, so you just feel free to let me know everything. Go towards your head, and we are here in family. Everybody know each other pretty much. At least I know you all. So yeah, feel free to tell me, man, draw more, speak less. Yeah, this was my attempt of making something like paint in the wall. Not bad as a sketch. Need more work, that's for sure. But some things of this like will work too. I think then we can just simply go to broken walls as well, like literally broken the walls. As I said, this is a spaceship, so you don't want to break the walls that goes outside. But we could do something like put some sections of broken wall type of like this. And then you know we have a good for how much more we have. Guys, you are evil. I wanted to show you in exclusive. I was yesterday working in the what the name, the phoenix, the creature, the exclusive creature, the phoenix, and I want to show you now. In a second, I want to finish this first. What I was making. I mean, nothing special, but I think might be interesting as well. So you guys see how I design the creatures because I went yesterday through the creature. I mean, look, I like this wall. This wall is cool. I mean, we need something different. Maybe this. Like this. Yeah, like a broken wall like that, and then we can put like scraps on the ground, like broken pieces of the wall here and there. Phoenix is also nice to see. Okay, I'm gonna show you guys the phoenix now. Where is it? It's here. Creatures. Phoenix. Here we go. Okay. It doesn't look so impressive now because all the layers are off. No worries. I have different layers here. Yeah, for the broken pieces here. Yes, sure. Like scraps of metal, like bent up and things like that. Well, I will do that for sure. And I was a bit skeptic about this kind of broken wall, but I actually like it. How it looks. Like it doesn't look bad. For the interior, you can make some holes like it's actually not completely broken, kind of like this here, and there is broken pieces around here too, like this, like a hole in the wall. I think we can do that too, or even a broken door. I think I will include too. Okay, the phoenix. The phoenix is missing all the layers, so I wanted to show you how I created this. I have the body, which is this one. This is the flying animation, okay? I was working, I have only one direction made now. Two directions, I think. I think I didn't finish the second direction, which is like facing back. This is the base one facing front and right. So, uh, what is WHFV? Warhammer Fantasy Battle. Okay, yeah, I think you mean that. Yes, I was wondering if the wall was going to be broken open to space. Yeah, I mean we can use the hey Bowie, what's up? How are you doing? Well, we did a bunch of things. I started first Bowie here. We were like starting to do some of the spaceship broken walls, which one is one of the extras for this month. And we were doing some bullet holes, like some like shredded parts of the wall. We were trying to make some broken part with the cables outside here and here. They are still sketches for the most part. Some like punch or like hit part of the wall that is bent in. We make some broken section, which is the last one we did. But as well, we were talking about color because people were having questions about the color palette creation, and then I was speaking like for 30 minutes about color theory. Uh, and we were talking about the live streaming itself, if doing here in Discord or doing in Twitch. And I was now showing the Phoenix I was working in yesterday. I started to work yesterday in the Phoenix, and I was just starting to explain. It's all the layers are off, so that's why you can see only the body, because I wanted to show little by little, explaining what I did, and pretty much that. Having fun, hanging out here together. I'm enjoying in these little live streamings. I said, yeah. Power to you, man. Super daddy. Nah, no worries. I understand you guys need to do things, so you can use this like a podcast too, like just listening while you are doing whatever. And if you need to leave, like, no worries at all. I totally understand. You guys have things to do. But happy the baby likes me. Yay. Okay, so going back to the Phoenix, I know here looks like a dragon type of thing, but I think the whole creature together give way more Phoenix vibes that it does now. But I wanted to show little by little. So it was the creation process yesterday that I was like doing the sketching of the character and everything, which is already done. That might be interesting for another live streaming to create a creature design from scratch with having nothing. It's similar to what I do with the looking for references and seeing what I like, what I don't like from like the pop culture image of a phoenix in this case, and my personal touch. Well, yeah, it would be nice to get an insight how you start a new creature. Yeah, yeah. Sure, we can do that. Sure, we can do that next time. So, okay, this is the phoenix, which looks like a dragon. I agree now, at least. And I wanted to look it very fiery because Phoenix and fire. So I decided to use some of the fire animations the collection have already. That's an important point too, guys. Like you guys do already, but many times you can like create new assets by combining things already we have. So I use the collection as my toolbox to do things because if I want fire, it's no point to making fire again from scratch when I have already fire in the collection, right? So it's a good way to create more complex creatures in less time to reuse some of the assets or edit those assets to be compatible with something. So I reuse the fire assets from Raided Village to make the Phoenix. And I usually reuse the fire from Raided Village for fire effects in general. Reuse or edit those assets because I think it's good fire. I like the effect. I think it's nice. So why to make another one from scratch that is going to be almost the same? Asset reuse is a must, and combining. Sometimes you combine and give you a new asset, like looks totally new, as you're actually combining two things that already exist. So I make the wings later. Let's go to one of the I'm gonna focus in one first, so I don't spoil the whole animation. So I draw the wings, which is still looking too much like a dragon, I know. And then I use it like the base, okay, for the character. And then I was like, okay, Phoenix is fire for me, so I wanted to put a lot of fire thing into the creature. So I create the layers with fire that you can see here in the layers list. We have front wing, which is this one. I call it front wing because it's in front of the body. Back wing is this one because it's in the back of the body, so the body will be covering whatever it is here. So if I turn the body off, you can see actually the wing is there, the whole wing, but it's just like covering it. And then I get a human just for the size because I normally put always a human next to each creature to get a reference of the size of the animal. Okay, so the phoenix, I was imagining something mythical and big, so I decided to go into the big one. This is 64 by 64, the frame. I could make a small phoenix or something like that, but I don't know why. In my idea was like some kind of like powerful creature, maybe not an enemy, maybe it's an ally in your game. It can be used in different ways, but I was imagining something kind of like majestic to put in a word. Okay, so that's why I went for the large type of creature in here. And then I use the fire. I use the fire in these layers. We have a fire that is fire in the ground because I decide this phoenix is basically on fire, so it's fire all around. He's like going towards, so he's moving and he's creating fire. Nikki say, have you read Listen the Legend of Tal Harfal, Funny Engineer for a Phoenix? No, I didn't. I will have a look. I'm gonna I'm gonna copy that so I don't forget later. Probably here. Legend of Tal Harfal. I didn't. I will look for that later. So I decided I wanted like the phoenix to like be basically floating like in a bed of fire in every part it's moving. And then I decided that I wanted the wings to be like fire wings. Like I don't know why I have this image of like the phoenix actually being like kind of like a mix in between like a living bird or like a creature with like actual fire. So I put the front wing fire and back wing fire, and then we have basically the design for the phoenix. I think once you put the fire, it looks less dragony and more bird too, in a way. It's still like a bit reptilian, but it's something I don't dislike because actually reptiles and birds are like familiar if you go down the line. And it gives as well like the phoenix. If I try to merge more like reptilian and bird type of animal, I don't know if I achieved, but I attempted to do that. That's why I intentionally put some reptilian dragony features into the thing. But I think the wings are more like bird towards the bird side once they were there. And now I'm gonna show you the animation. I think unless you get feathers on it, is going to look more reptilian anyways. Yeah, 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 it's true. I think the feathers in this case are the fires. I'm gonna show you here. It's not feathers, but the fire itself resembles a little bit of uh, feathers because of the shape of the fire itself. And now I'm gonna show you. This is all the frames. It's 6 frames, the flying animation. And I'm gonna show you now. Ah, look, this is one of the shortcuts I have in this button of the mouse. When I push, disappear. That is the import sprite sheet thing. That actually I don't remember what is the combination to get this out. It's like sheet something, I think, and this is to build up the animations. So this animation already is prepared 64 with 256 tall because I'm planning to put here all the other directions and just import, and it creates already the animation, and here we have. So this is basically, I did this yesterday. This is basically the phoenix flying eagle animation because it's the same, will be the same. The flying and eagle will be this, can be used for both. I'm planning to include two these animations that are here as well in the thing I showed you before, my list. This is my working list. I think I put here, yeah, I put here fly, eagle, damage, attack, die, and reborn because he's the phoenix. So I'm planning to do some kind of like reborn animation when he's dying. He dies into becoming an egg, and then I want to make an animation for the egg. So when die is becoming an egg, actually, that's the dying animation. And I want to make an animation that actually it reborn into a phoenix again. So these are the plans I have for this creature. I'm thinking of this eventually battling an airship, and we need either way instead of the fire, it needs to be turning the clothes to steam. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That's is that too difficult? Yeah, it's doable. So yeah, it's the Phoenix. So what I did yesterday, basically, big part of the day was just designing the creature, one frame of the creature. So I spent most of the working time in here yesterday, trying to get the feel I wanted to go for. Once you get the feel, it's just like making the other frames, which takes time too, but takes way more time. Usually, making the creature design, it can take hours, literally. Like it depends on the creature. Bigger creatures are always, almost always, not necessarily, but take longer because it's more details and more stuff to address. Yeah, to the preview here. There you go. And there is a difficult thing too, creating assets, guys, that is like, and any of you that make, well, all of you make things because all of you are developers, so you're gonna understand me totally. You could be policing stuff forever. I mean, like there is things to fix always, even when you are, if you have worked on anything for a year, and you could keep working on the same thing over and over and over, right? So one of the things when you create is to know when to stop or when you need to say, okay, this is good enough. Because if not, you will never finish any asset. Good thing about mini fantasies, the whole mini fantasy structures works with deadlines. I have the monthly deadline for the new asset pack. I have like the monthly deadlines for the assets I need to release in Patreon. So it helps me to actually push me towards the I need to stop the policing phase of the thing, right? So I see this animation. I don't want to point the things I don't like, but there is things I think, oh, I could be work. I mean, I like in general the animation. I think it's good, but I can also say that there is things in the animation that could be more polished. But again, is I need to reach a state that I say, okay, this is good enough for this creature. Need to produce all the other animations, so now I need to start doing it. Okay, Bowie, see you later. Yeah, maybe we need to get a better time for doing the streamings. I'm gonna do a poll for that maybe. So you guys let me know which one is the best time to start streaming. Thanks for showing up, man. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, totally. It's like that video that I share a couple times here in the server that is like uh, finished, not perfect. That stress out the fact that you need to finish things because if you try to have a perfect thing, you will never finish it, and an unfinished thing is a thing you never use for anything or that no one enjoy. When you have a finish anything, when you finish something, it's something other people can consume in some way, not like a product, but as well as a product if your objective is to sell or to provide something for other person, but as well like if it is not finished, you normally don't sell with anyone because you feel, oh, this is not finished. So it's good practice to decide like, okay, good enough. And yeah, so for the Phoenix, yesterday was that part. I usually try to decide the end, like not the end, what I will consider like a finished design before I make the animations because it's a lot of work to do backtrack. So yesterday I made this design that took me basically the whole working day to do it. But it's quite big and it's complex animation and everything, so it's normally takes longer. I should be able to produce the rest of things. I was here doing now the back part. It's not finished. As you can see, the wings are not correct because the back wings should be in the front here, covering the face. And maybe some edits, maybe the fire of the wings should cover this part too. It needs a little bit of work here, but I was doing the other direction. Then I need to flip, relight and reshadow when needed, and then make the other animations. So it's a few hours of work yet to finish this one. Miniquest will never finish so perfect. Man, Miniquest is awesome. It's already perfect, and I will say it's almost finished. I mean, finished. It's not finished, but you know what I mean. It's in a state that you can call it a game, which is great. And yeah, so just giving an example, how I work into the animation process. So did it yesterday. You see, I have different layers for different parts of the body. I do this depending type of the creature. This is a complex creature and bigger, so it's good practice to have it separate. But for a smaller, like maybe human side characters, depending on how complex are the things they are carrying out or some of the animations, I have only one layer sometimes with a character, and I just redraw the sprite because it's so small and it's not much to redraw. Uh, I do there on the spot, like in each new frame. But when there is elements that cross or things that go in front of the character or behind the character, you need to have like the layers because if not, it's going to be a pain in the ass, basically. If you don't have the layers separate. So if you guys are doing animations with characters, good practice is to have different parts or elements of the character in separate layers. Like very clear here with the wings, like the front wing and the back wing. Like I told you, like it's behind the body, right? This is the body. You can see the body. The head of the body is covering the wing that is in the back, and the fire that is in the ground is in front of the body. So it covers the body a little bit in certain parts, like in here, you can see. So that's important. What we will do here, we need to reverse because if you see the front wing is this one, but now for this view, we want to be the back wing to be in the front. So we need to, let's switch off the parts we don't need. We will want to take this one. Free question on your use of iSprite. How come you use separate image for each frame rather than the build frame function? Okay, yeah, I know because I know many people do different to me, but I like to have a global view of the whole animation, and that's not possible if you have this like here. This is what you say, like the how you call it, like the built-in frame function. If I need, I cannot have the global vision here. I need to go frame by frame, and I don't know if this is good or bad, but I used to work in the opposite way, like this, with having the whole animation. So I can sketch the animation frame by frame and then see if it works. If it not works, I can go back here and work in the frames I need to fix. Then I can copy paste from one frame to another very easily too, more than if I work in this view. I don't know, man. It's like I think I just like learn to use the program this way, and I'm just so used to work like this that it's very uncomfortable for me to work in this way. I have done sometimes because project request, like I did this for like when doing some commission for some people because they have already like a established way to work with the theme, but it's not my preferred. I prefer to work like this. Yeah, it's like that's why I have the shortcut. You say you have the shortcut in one button, so I can just go there. Here you just need to put the width and the height you want, and it's just like two clicks, one in the mouse, and then enter to import, and that's it. Or click to import, and you can jump back just by Control C. It's my way of work, but I know many people don't do that. Many people work in this and they use tags. You can make tags here, like you can put like new tag and you can put here flying or whatever. And some people has like a very long frame count here, like maybe I don't know, like 80. And if they have all animations in one big line with the tags flying and other idle, other attack, and everything is there. I don't know. It's something don't work for me, or I didn't get used to work that way, so it's very difficult now for me to change. Okay, Frew, I don't know until what time I will be here. We already been 2 hours. Maybe I will stay a bit more, but I don't know how long. But I'm recording this and I will be posting in YouTube. I have a YouTube channel with almost no videos that I upload in the streams, so people can watch if they are interested later. So you can always catch it up later there if you want. And we will do in a new streaming in the future, not so long, because I'm going to do at least one per month. A pleasure to have you here. Nikki says, guess I shouldn't say them things the way without YouTube. Yeah, man, you're gonna be there in a channel with, I don't know, 3 followers or something like that. So no worries. Okay, what I was saying, the wing. I wanna put this wing in the front. So we're gonna take the back wing, cut, and we're gonna put paste in the front. So now the wing is covering the face. What's the problem? That is not covering the other part that we need. So we have wing is here. We need to take this wing and put in the front too. So we're gonna take the wing, copy. We're gonna need to create another layer, another layer that is here, and we're gonna put in here. And now if we turn off the front wing layer, you can see like the base wing is actually over the head, which is what we wanted to achieve. We're gonna need to do this process with all the other frames. Once we have finished that, we will pretty much almost have this direction finished. Maybe we will need to do some edits in this area because we can see there is this outline here of the body that I'm not sure I want that there. So probably I will want this way. Maybe here we will need to do some edit in this area, and maybe I will want to have the fire. This fire, I'm not sure about this. I don't know if I want the fire going towards the back, covering the back, or just leave like this. Not really sure about that yet. Another embarrassment is hiding the face. Yeah, back up, but not put the fire in. Okay, I see. Yeah, maybe me too. I will just need to see the whole animation because this is the body actually. This is the body outline. So if I remove that, I'm just like changing the shape of the body because the body is like three pixels. I forgot width. I don't know how to say that. I forget English while I speak. Is thick. I don't know. It's thick. It's 3 pixels. Here you can see 1, 2, 3. So if I remove this one, means I need to extend some way the body or the wings, but that will affect this view too. So I will need to think about how to do that with. Okay, thank you. I have a bunch of good teachers here. uh, Doing the streams will for sure improve my English, I think, because I need to force myself to pronounce somehow better because my pronunciation is not very good at all. So, doing my best. Maybe a little fire over that area. Yeah, maybe that. And when the winds go down, something it can expose black edge. I don't understand the second question. And when the wings go down or something, it can expose the black edge. When the wings go down. Okay, you know what's the better way to do that? Actually do the edit. We're gonna move all these wings to cover the face. I mean, and you see how I do it. It will not take that long actually. We do in bulk like this. Hey, if I'm not in the correct layer, I will never do it. Okay, we have it, and now we're gonna put this layer. There we go. Let's see if the animation works without the fire. Yeah, it kind of works. Maybe we will want to do some edits. We will decide later. But the animation is working. A fun thing is like we can make a new creature too. We can do a new creature like it's like a reptile that jumps. Look, it's kind of cute. I mean, imagine it is on the ground and it is like jumping. Look, isn't it cute? It is like a kangaroo, like a reptile kangaroo. I actually like it. Look, if we remove the pixel that is in here in the foot, it will create the effect that it is jumping on the floor. Yeah, with that, it's right. It's cute. Maybe we can use this idea for another creature. It's kind of fun. I like it. I just saw it now when I was like making this view. If I go making this view, totally looks like that. Okay, a queen. Okay, now we're gonna need the fire over the wings, and we will decide if we want to edit something else for them. I want ties for a weaver. What means this or that? Ah, this. No, I want this for a weaver without the fire. Okay, now let's go to the fire from wing. This is good. Ah, this is bad because now from wing need to be in the back. Why it need to be in the back? Because we want the tail covered partially the fire here. We're gonna want the body cover this part of the fire as well here. So all this fire wing need to go in the back now. It's the opposite to this one. So big part of like animating is actually putting in order layers correctly. Once you figure it that out, and if you have a good layer order, not like me, that is pure chaos with some of them having name, others don't having name, but don't pay attention to that. If you have a good order of the layers, it makes life way easier. Or if you know what's going on, that works too. So we're gonna take the again. I'm not in the correct layer. Take this one and now put in the back wing here, there, and now bodies covering this wing that I'm not really sure if, no, we don't want to do that, right? Would we? No, because, okay, we want the tail covering the fire, but I don't think we want the body covering the fire. So I think I'm gonna edit it that actually this part of the wing is covering this. And what happened here? Why this? Wait. Wrong wing. I don't know where I paste. I did something wrong, guys. Wait, wait, wait. I'm talking about being important to have everything in order. Okay, back wing need to be. Okay, I know what happened. This wing is not in the correct layer, which should be front wing. Sorry, guys. I just demonstrating how to not be chaotic because you know you pay the consequences. Okay, there and now here front wing. Now, yeah, now we are talking. Now is well. I'm going to read. In frame 4, what is the black dot? Looks like a weird egg. Guess little headpiece that is lying down. This one, yes, it's like this part. The idea is this part. Maybe in the frame doesn't look properly because just one frame, but it's like it has like this part of the head that is bouncing when it is like moving up and down. So the idea is the part bouncing. So when you see it animated, I think give the sensation that that is like hitting the back part of the head. You cannot see that here because actually you don't see the back part of the head when it is looking towards front. So I think the animation make the effect, but if you see only the frame, it's just a weird dot. It happens to in animation sometimes you put some pixels that doesn't make sense, but because it's in motion animation, then when you put everything together moving, makes sense. As it say in mini quest, I think Phoenix will heal when you hit him with fire. So if your enemy puts out a fire wizard, you can easily counter. Oh, well, that's cool mechanic asset. Yeah, man. Nikki looking for ways to exploit the mechanics already. Right. Okay, so I think the animation already is kind of working. Maybe need a little bit work like in this area. So I think the flames I want to cover partially the back, but not fully cover the back. But uh, I think the direction is already kind of like doing it right. Let's see with the whole fire going on. What do you guys think? Now is when you tell me, man, that shit, we don't like it. Ooh. Sorry. Niggy is talking about how Ace will break his home game with the Phoenix mechanic. Yeah, as I told you guys, I'm planning to put that reborn animation. So when the Phoenix die, I want it to die in some like flamboyant way that it becomes an egg. Actually, I don't know how yet, but maybe turning into ashes and then the the egg come out from the ashes, similar to the Harry Potter movies. You remember one of the first ones that has the Phoenix, and when the Phoenix dies, it becomes like an egg that come out from the ashes themselves, something like that. Maybe I need to think about that. I don't know how to do the animation yet. And then I want the other animation where the egg breaks and it appear like a small phoenix that grows into a phoenix again. Basically, that's my idea for the animation. Asep say, I'm impressed by the smart choices you make. You mean me or Nikki? Okay, and what are those small choices? That just interested. I want to understand what you mean. You mean about the frames and the details of the creature? The Phoenix Rise, me too. I think it's going to be a good animation that one, Nikki. Like when it dies and it's reborn. And for the attack itself, I want to decide it. I mean, I was thinking this is pretty much an living attack because I imagine just this flying towards you and making damage to you because it set on fire everything around him, basically. But I was thinking to put some kind of other attack, maybe a fire explosion or a melee attack too that deals more damage. I don't know. I need to think about that. I didn't even think about how I want to make the black dot discussion. Okay, okay, yeah, I see. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it's these little things that is not much, but I believe that make the difference in between like good animation or not, because like for this one, I gonna remove the fire so you can see the body. I spent yesterday a lot of time with the body. I'm gonna put the jumpy animation again because you can see better there. To put all this thing in the body, at the beginning, I have the animation with the body static. The body was in the same position in the first frame here, and it was going up and down, basically. But I think this is so flat and doesn't feel natural. So I started little by little. First, I put some movement into the clothes, going like front and behind a little bit. Then I started to use, like you can see the body gets larger when it moves up. It extends the body, and when it moves down, the body becomes shorter and the clothes go up. Because like if you move something fast up, yeah, the things that are hanging tends to get delay in the way they move up. They follow later. The same when you go down. If you go down suddenly, if you have hanging legs, your body move down and the legs will kind of like collide with the body a little bit and then go back to the normal position. So all these little details are part of animating. That's why it takes a lot of time. Then the tail is another element. How the tail will react to the other movement that is happening. And then the crest or the little thing in the head. All these little things. And by the combination creates a believable movement that feels natural. Or I want to believe it feels natural. Yeah, but to be honest, this is with practice. Like you can go back to the first mini fantasy creatures and you see the difference. They used to be way more simple. Even if they are still in the same resolution, you take a humanoid character, the ones I make nowadays that are this size are way more detailed in terms of animation than the first one I made like 4 years ago. Yeah, so I learn day after day after day, and like the benefit of working so much hours in the same art style is like you get better and you can do more things within the same art boundaries of mini fantasy. So I think the graphics is still mini fantasy, but they are better in the way that I can squeeze more from every pixel than at the beginning. Yeah, True Heroes 1 to 3 huge change. Yeah, 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 totally. Yeah, I feel that myself every time I do an animation. Like recent ones, you can see in the pattern extras the creatures as well. They gradually become better. I mean, I still like it. Old ones, like some of the old ones I did, I think they are good, but you cannot argue that the recent ones are, in general terms, better animations. As well, the character creation, I think, is better too. Like I create more interesting characters nowadays than before, but which is is normal. It will be a problem if I don't actually after so long working in the style. So it's something that naturally happens. I have now a problem, like, because I feel like the asset pack, I will show the asset pack here, creatures. I think is so out of date, this asset pack, that doesn't represent what mini fantasy has to offer. I've been thinking already for months to do a revamp for this asset pack. I actually want to bring the conversation to the Patreon community because this somehow affect a little bit the community, because I was thinking about getting some of the creatures from the exclusives, from Patreon exclusive archive, take some of the creatures and put those in the pack, because that will be a better representation of what the collection has to offer. Because these characters, I mean, I'm fond of these characters because they are here from the very beginning, but they are very simple. Things that the things are that these characters are very simple if you compare with the character we have nowadays. So I think will be good to revamp the pack. So because many people buy this pack actually, so this is a popular pack in the collection. I don't sell many individual asset packs because almost the things I sell the most is the complete bundle. But some of the asset packs that sell individually, the creatures one sells well. So I always think it's a missed opportunity of people knowing more about the collection, because people that buy one pack, they choose creatures, and I don't think they will feel disappointed because pretty much you can see here in the page what the pack have. So it's not like I'm not selling an idea that is not in the pack. It's pretty much what you see here. But I'm missing the opportunity to get a person that get more into mini fantasy, or maybe into the Patreon community, or discovering more, because like the creatures that are in Patreon, some of them are pretty awesome actually in comparison with these ones. Yeah, I mean, creatures too is like, and these creatures actually is some kind of creatures too, and whoa, you can tell they are way better. Like creatures too, where is here, and enchanted companions too. Uh, but because enchanted companions are small creatures, I mean they are great. I really love some of these ones, but in these ones are bigger creatures too that you can see. Is bigger creatures, and as well it's the same size that the humanoids that are in the other pack. This is more what we have nowadays. But this one is so thematic that it's just undeads. I feel the other creatures pack is more open in terms of like there is more variety than in this one. Yeah, Nick, I agree. These are like good packs, but I don't know why like creatures is still even more popular. I think it's because it's older. It's the second pack I released. So in the order I released the packs in Mini Fantasy, it was actually Dungeon was the first one, and then Creatures, and then Forgotten Plains. So the Creatures pack is here from the very beginning, and it's still selling well. Like it sells more than Undead or Companions. So it's like an entry to the collection in some way, because I feel like many people get it. Yeah, they are classic mini fantasy 100%. Yeah, yeah. So always thinking about if I do a revamp more than a two, it's like an update or I was thinking to do a new release, like Minifantasy Creatures Revamp, with some of the with the classics too, but some of the newer creatures too, and then give access to the new revamped pack to all owners of the original pack. Why I want to do a new release is because when you do a new release, you get pumped in the views. If I do an update, a major update to the creatures pack, almost no one will see. Like because people get alert and that, but you don't get display in here. I'm gonna tell you a little bit about how it works. You will not. Where is it? Assets. Here in assets. When you make a new release, you appear in most recent. Here, you appear the first for a few hours until someone else release a new asset pack. So this gives a lot of views because I feel many of you guys come to check the most recent asset pack when you want to buy something or you want to get a new asset pack or to see if there is something new. I think developers check this most recent, so this is a great source of views for a new asset pack. And then you get, if it is a pack that get attention, that I'm glad Mini Fantasy is one of those packs usually. You get as well here in new and popular. New and popular is a mix that it has to be views and interactions, plus need to be new release like recently. And if you are lucky, you get it popular, which is like overall popularity. Like its modern interiors is always there. Like the modern packs, these ones are like I think that the most popular packs in each. This guy has done a great job, like getting this spot because that gives him lots of sales for sure. And then you go down this one to like the seed collection is always around here. You go down, there is some of the mini fantasy dungeon a bit down, but it's over there. You can find no, where is it? I mean, it's quite down, but now this is the Leopard music asset pack. Oh man, here it's quite down, but still in this page, like you can find it down. And sometimes in a new release, if you are lucky, you can get even here. I got some of my packs over here. I get some of my packs even in the first position for like a week or 4 or 5 days, and that's an incredible like source of views. That's why for the creatures pack, I would like to do a new release because that will come here, and it helps to the collection in general. Yeah, that's it, man. I feel like I just came to speak to a lot of things that is nothing to do with the asset creation at the end. Sorry. You guys have some questions, something you want to know, or anything? I will be happy answering whatever. If we can stay maybe 30 minutes more, so want to give you the mic to you guys if you want to address any specific whatever. Can you talk about naked dude creation? He's iconic. Yeah. You want to know the history or you want to know how to throw it? What do you want to know first? I can tell you about everything about naked dude. What's it in a yeah. No, it is me. It's like a self-portrait. You see me now with clothes because the camera. But I'm naked dude making naked dudes in the screen all day, even in winter. Yeah, it's like the first naked dude was like this. Was flat. Was like this. First naked dude. Like this. And with no outline, by the way. What do you mean? I don't understand the question. asset. Gonna open. I'm gonna open the real naked dude. Creatures. Humanoids. Human. The real naked dude is here. Oops. So you just say, I want to make a pixel human as small as you can. Yeah, kind of that. Like I was trying to see. Yeah, I wanted to make it small because I was already sold in the idea of making 8x8 art. Um, so man, it's like I don't know if I'm the first one because this is a very easy thing to come with. So I'm pretty sure someone else in the past has made a similar design in a way because it's just a few pixels. It's like it's no more possibilities of creating human character. Yeah, there is some others you can do in a very small site, but this is one of the few. So I'm pretty sure this has been reproduced somewhere or similar somewhere before. I think the thing here is like at least in each as a developer community, I somehow claim that for me in a way. I mean, I have been using this consistently for so long that I might be wrong here, but I think people will be afraid of using this character. Other artists, I mean, like Minifantasy is big enough that I think the other artists know them, know the collection at least because I know other artists' collections even if I don't know them because they are the fellow artists and we check what we know each other even if we don't personally know each other. So I think somehow I claim on the design of Negative, but it's very easy someone has this idea before or a similar one, maybe not exactly the same. So I started answering as a question first. Now I go with you, Bowie. Um, I wanted to make a 8x8 pixel art collection before Mini Fantasy exists. I'm talking at the very, very, very beginning. So I was deciding or trying to find what like humanoid design will work for the collection. So I came out with this one by testing and trying because I wanted this to be minimalistic and small, but I wanted it to give me some flexibility so I can create variations to create other races, like the orcs and other kind of characters, is like from the side of the basic human. So yeah, I decide, oh, this will be this, and that's it. This is the same. This will be the character side pixel tall is small enough so gonna fit well the wall of 8x8, and that pretty much how I decide to do this design. But we ask, how did you decide for the skin shades? This is interesting topic. You know what? I've been thinking for a long time to remake the skin tones of the creatures, but there is so many like naked dudes all across scatter all across packs that doing that I need to actually make a review of many 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 assets. I'm not very happy nowadays with the skin tones. It works, but this is just an example. I will do this differently nowadays. Like if this is the base tone, I will go towards maybe something like this. And I think you're gonna be with me that it make it better. Give me a second, I will do this. So it's one of these decisions of postposing, but I think rather sooner than later, it's something I have to do. Again, this will need more. I will need to think more about this, but just an example. This is way more in line with what I'm creating nowadays. This color palette for the character. Uh, did you register trademark for naked dude? No, didn't you? Sorry, guys, I'm going through the message now. I didn't register the trademark for the naked dude, so you can do, and then you can blackmail me if you want. Is there a formula or it is just your gut what you pick? Maui, we were talking today about this exactly thing when I was making all this color palette uh, explanation. I don't follow any formula. I just make the color palette for every specific asset or asset pack because you create the color palette for like a whole, not for a one element, right? So I create every time I do an asset pad or a set of creatures or whatever, I create a color palette and I don't follow any formula. I just do what I just did. I don't know if you pay attention when I put the colors here, but I do hue shifting, try different colors. Probably I will not leave the colors like they are right now here. I will do a little bit more like trial and error and to, like fine tune the thing to something I say, okay, this is the right one, but it's pretty manual process. Uh, Next question. Invio was telling you about I was talking about this before. Yeah, I'm gonna post this video. I'm recording the live streaming. I will post in YouTube. So if you want, you can review that later. Don't spoil what is next. Okay, accept don't like it. Don't like the new one. Okay, I can keep the old ones as like legacy assets. I have done that. I when in some packs that I have changed the assets, so I have like remade them in a way. There is a legacy folder with the old graphics as well. Almost seems too dark, but the value seems too much. I mean, yeah, especially here, these ones. I agree with you, Nikki. These ones are maybe too much, but uh, this gives the character more 3D feeling in the way that there is more shades. Like the original Naked Dude, I'm gonna go back to the original so you can see it next to next. The original Naked Dude is way more. Oh fuck! Wait, sorry. I no. Okay, I fuck it up. I erased the one I made. I'm gonna remake fast. I wanted you to say side by side so you understand what I mean. That's what I say. I didn't make this color palette very thoughtfully because it's just to demonstrate you what I mean. Now here, this looks way more flat than this one. This color palette here is better objectively, okay? I'm speaking objectively. This is better than this because here every part the contrast works better. Even if you can fine tune and make it better. Maybe this is not perfect. I'm not saying that, but this is better than this, at least in my opinion, and I think in the opinion of many people will be the case. I'm fond to this guy. Don't take me wrong, and I think everybody here is very used to this. So that's why this looks a bit weird. But this has more volume than this one. My immersion. I registered it for MiniQuest. Okay. Maui says, so how do you approach this? Do you pick one base color and X6? Are there always like one base color and two light and two bright insides? If I already answered it, it looked like the video. I kind of answered that, but I tell you again, it's fast. It depends on what. I'm not fixed, and this is one thing in mini fantasy. Mini fantasy has its boundaries, okay? I think it's very important so you put boundaries to yourself when you are doing a project, right? So the boundaries of mini fantasy it is 8 by 8, so it is very limited in the resolution, but in exchange I give to myself completely freedom for the color palettes. That's why Minifantasy doesn't have a color palette, because I have basically a color palette for every different asset pack in the collection. Uh, that said, I give myself freedom in the color palette. So depending on the creature, I'm gonna choose different number of shades and lights, depending on what I feel they need to be to fit the whole. In this case, Naked Dude has one, two, three, four, five shades. For something very small, five is quite large color palette, but I don't have like a formula or a hard rule for colors. I don't know if that answers your question. Let me know if not. You guys, yeah, maybe I should register. I didn't do. I might regret of not doing that. If you can give me some info about that, some of you have done this before, because I have no idea how to do, what to do, what it covers if you do, what if not, what are the pros and cons as a whole. New Dude 3D. I get that it was done quick. I don't know what Nikki is referring to. Something I say or something the guys wrote? Nikki? Asep, okay, Asep was trolling me. I'm so easy to be trolled, man. I'm so naive. And yeah, I don't know if there is more questions related to this or other things. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, I can fine tune that the colors for sure. As well, we are very used to this. But it's like for me, this one looks a bit sick if you compare with this one. Looks like, I don't know, like this looks healthier. This dude here. It has to be with the contrast. This has more warmer colors than this one too. New Duke and crossover. Yeah. Didn't go so well, right? Like the last Duke and Nukem game that was like delayed for I don't know 15 years, and then it was so bad when it came out. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, guys. Something else, something about anything. Something about when you are making or editing an asset that you have some question or you are looking for some tip for a specific thing. If I can answer, I will. Ah, by the way, I'm gonna take the chance. This is not a paid promotion, but I want to show you something that I got recently. Give me a second. Yeah, man, I got a Roomba recently, and it is awesome to keep your house clean. That's okay. Look, I got this recently that I backed this in Kickstarter, like, I don't know, like 2 years ago, something like that. So long time ago that I forgot that I have done this. It's called Pixels Forever, okay? And it's a pixel art book. But I just back it in Kickstarter because that I know I didn't know there is any like book about pixel art. Okay, so I just back it because I think it's cool. Pixel art book. I didn't even know well about what it's going to be about, but I did it because I do pixel art every day, and I think it was good to have a pixel art book. I don't know if you guys can buy it now, but if you are interested, this is a good book. The book is basically, it has like some lessons too that are basic lessons about many different things, but they are very well explained, I think, like for the most part. And it covers things like, look, here is the lessons. Things is like workflow, resolution and sprite size, outlines, shading, anti-aliasing, dithering, color palettes, color shifting, lighting, glow effects, character design, sprite posing, tile sets, backgrounds, using multiple softwares, After Effects. And then there is a section of artists, that the artists that collaborate with the book. They have some art sections with the artist's works and things, and each artist talks a little bit about their art and their ideas and stuff. I don't know. If you guys are into pixel art, this is a good book. It's just like I wanted to show you because I didn't expect, because I forgot basically that I backed this and I got recently, and it's quite good. Like, even the lessons, some of the things are basic, but they are very well explained. That I like it. I like reading it, and it's very comprehensive. Yeah, that's it. I don't get commissions for the book, so I just wanted to show you because you usually don't see books about the matter, or I didn't see books about pixel art specifically. So, for what it's worth, it is there. As if it's writing. Still waiting for the whole mode auto toothbrush I bagged 6 years ago. That is for real, or are you joking? Oh, really? Okay, I didn't know. So what was that? Something you put in your mouth and it cleans your teeth at once, or what? All at the same time? Okay, and you didn't get that. Nah, I mean that sounds like awesome, to be honest. You just bite it, and yeah. So far, I've been lucky with the thing. I didn't back many things in Kickstarter, but the things I have backed, I have got all of them. Yeah, I back only like, I don't know, like three things or something like that. Not many. I didn't back many things in Kickstarter, but I got all of them. But yeah, I mean, it's the risk. You know when you are doing in Kickstarter that the project might be meh at the end. So Nikki is an expert. You will have like good and bad experiences, I assume. Yeah. Nah, I back one game. I back the book. This one I just showed you, and I also back like a like paper and pen RPG, like a physical stuff to play with friends around the table, not a video game. I mean, all of them very good. Shit, me too. I back newcomer. Yeah, yeah. So then I back at least four things, 4 or 5 things. Me too, me too. Yeah. Something else? Some question something you want me to do? You want me to do a challenge? If not, I think I will start to wrap up the session for today. I mean, it was a bit mixed, a lot of different stuff. started doing many things, and we ended speaking about 1,000 million other things. I hope at least it was like entertaining and you got some interesting information or whatever, or your questions answered or something interesting. This was great. A bit later, yeah, very early in the US. Yeah, I think we will need to fine tune the times for the live streaming. So it's good you guys tell me if it is good or not, because I can do later actually. Now it's 3 p.m. here in Spain. I could start the live streaming in the afternoon instead in the morning, like starting it at 4 p.m. here, which is in 1 hour. Yeah, Bowie, thank you, man, for showing up. And yeah, it was great to share with you guys. And yeah, happy you guys show up. When I start these things, I'm wondering, someone will show up? Like, I mean, I don't know. I was like, if no one show up, yeah, I will be working here waiting for someone. But from the minute one, you guys has been around. So I'm thankful. Yeah, thanks to you too. I hope all of you, can join the next time. And yes, please feel free to give me some uh, ideas or things you will like to be shown in the live streamings or whatever. If you have any suggestions, feel free to tell me, because I'm pretty new in doing this. So I think you can tell. So it will be good for me to have some direction. And at the very end, I want to do things you guys are interested in. So that will help me. It's invaluable information for me. Bowie, you can rotate the time slot maybe somewhere in the evening. Yeah, I think so, Bowie. I think it's going to be better for more people that time. Yeah. Only the people that live in Asia will be not happy, but I think in Asia or in Australia. But I think most of the community is more Europe and US or Latin America based, probably. Uh, so yeah, I think that time will work for more people, probably, yes. And for me, it's the same. I don't mind to do in the afternoon instead of in the evening. That will be good. We need to fine tune these two as well. I didn't tell you guys in advance enough with this one. I decide I'm going to do today on Friday. I think I posted. So I don't know if that influenced, but my influence to that. Some people might not even know we were doing this. And yeah, for the next time, if you have some specific requests, just let me know. Not now if you don't want, but I mean, at some point you can tell me. Feel free to message me or talk in the Minifantasy channel or in other place in the server, or write me directly. And yeah, I will try to do my best next time again. And thanks a lot. And I think that's it. I don't know how you finish a live streaming. You say that's it, bye. Yeah, good afternoon for you too, Nikki. Yeah, next time more and better. Yeah, I think the process can be interesting and helpful too, especially if you guys are editing assets. So bye bye, Bowie. Hey, you tech. Yeah, hello, man. I like your game. I can't wait to play the new versions with all the like flashy things going on. And thanks for showing up. I know you arrive at the very end. Next time I will try to adjust the time so it works for everybody better. But thanks for showing up, man. Yeah, I said thanks to you too. Okay, I think. Have a great day, Mishakog. See you next time. Thanks a lot for coming. So now it is time. Bye bye, guys. Thanks a lot. See you next time. Peace.